So I think we've kind of crossed a Rubicon of sorts now, haven't we? Right? Well, I mean, sorry, I did it again. You leave the house, you forget to turn on the cell phone on the network. So, welcome to the show. So, was Divine Feminine, and because of the context of the creating of this video, you know exactly what I mean, right? So here is the guy. You know what? Epstein is actually the guy of the projection. You know how we're always talking about the psychological tactic of the projection, right? And you call somebody what you are, and you build the illusion of what people are seeing is him as you. Now, this is consistent with what we have known. Now, we're asking ourselves as conspiracy theorists that gave him benefit of the doubt one way or condemnation the other way. And the public now has to decide if they want to do the right thing or not. Do they know even what the hell the right thing is? Because the right thing goes beyond bringing a handful of people to executions for smut. And it goes beyond firing the guys you put in charge. You also have to dismantle the function of the system, which may inherently render its form useless. In short, you know, you have to drop the whole thing, right? And right now, if you look at it, you with Bitcoin being the start, you're gonna drop the whole mainframe. I think most of these companies are about to vanish into thin air just for being associated with the fucking the moral crime. Will we ever be able to force them to say, why did they make Jeff do it? Right? Why did Ghislaine make him do that? Why did the Rothschilds make him do that? Why did the Rockefellers make him do that? Why did they make him do it? Right? Like he's not exempt from responsibility if he's alive. He still gets punished for what he did because he knows better. Like, and if he doesn't know better, then he ain't fucking human. And he said he isn't fucking human. And people that don't know better cannot be walking free in the face of the earth. And anyway, long story short, you know, I mean, it's the men too, but knowing exactly how fucking much there is to Ghislaine and everyone else. What do we think about, like, Abramovich, right? I want you guys to go listen to my interview with Thomas Sherry. Now, you have to give every brilliant person a break when you disagree with stuff. Unless you just don't honor the brilliance that they came from. Thomas Sheridan, even though he may not have seen all this stuff that Jordan Maxwell was right about, and thus he was always a big critic of Jordan Maxwell. You know, I've told Thomas, it's just like, I think Jordan would have loved what you're doing. You don't understand. He's trying to expose all this. And here it is. Right? Thomas was, he's given us very important aspects of the history and the occultism relationship, pagan, the pagan heart and soul. I can't even continue, right? So he's great, regardless of anything, right? I would like to cheer for Abramovich if she was low-key doing those spells to exploit them or something. Like, it was like, why did she say about Trump what she said? We don't know what side of this is what. Is he roped in? Did they agree to be the fall guy of each other? We don't know. So let's understand that as long as people don't want to fucking be straight with us, we have every right to treat them like prisoners of the state as the leaders of the state. So I would treat Donald Trump as if he was under White House arrest, which doesn't mean he's literally confined to the White House. It doesn't matter because the Secret Service is there. Because whether you like it or not, the only situation that works best for us is that the Secret Service is like his fucking, is like a prison guard and not his personal security. Although they do also have to keep him alive, because that's why we're bothering to do this whole thing. And you force him, as the one in the position of that office, to do what the people want, instead of what these interests in the Epstein file wanted. And listen, I mean, can we see about the duplicitous nature? Trump is in, but unfortunately, a whole bunch of the deep state had to get in, right? Like, I mean, like I said, like, I can't find too many people having extraordinary problems with Kennedy and Health and Human Services amongst my people, right? Don't call me naive. I'm sure it's in there. But to be going that well, but then we have the problem of Peter Thiel is the biggest fucking issue on my fucking radar. But I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking about, well, what the fuck is going to trigger any of this? All right, like people have been in such abandon. It's just like, you don't want to be anarchists, but you don't even want to try and take personal responsibility for anything that the government does. You can go to town hall after doing a little bit of research and give a small civic speech about your ideas of pushing the feds to do something about it. and the DOJ to do something about it. But guess what? You have to do it. You have to fucking clear your head out and stop being a prosecutorial panic attack. And you have to speak in terms of true and proper knowledge and wisdom of justice. The scales of justice in particular. The fair play. Everybody whose Aries energy is going to be lit up like a fucking Christmas tree for the next year, like mine, you better fucking have spent some time leaning into your Libra, even if there's nothing fucking in it. Whatever sign Libra is fucking running, or whatever house your fucking Libra is in, you better fucking do something consciously about that, because you're gonna have to find out how you're supposed to balance the equation for what's coming with whatever instinct is gonna drive you to do whatever. And a bunch of this stuff is eventually gonna fucking creep up on my Chiron in Taurus, but that'll we'll see how that goes later. So take a breath on that one. It's super dark. It's super ugly. And look, think if you fucking loved the Weinstein Company's movies, look at how much money Jeffrey Epstein was pumping in it. Like, he was conditioning you to his sadism. And, you can still love these movies, but not fucking love it from its sadistic angle. The sadism has a certain reaction. I mean, it's more of a litmus test than it is a judgment that you're watching it and having a reaction, right? It's like, I enjoy a gore porn film. I mean, fucking Dead Alive is a goddamn fucking classic. But I'm still not forgetting that, like, this isn't about a dude doing that. Like, Dead Alive's great, like, they're zombies, right? It's always great when it's zombies, because all a zombie is doing is assaulting you, right? And then it may succeed in battery, and thus it'll eat your brain. Eat you alive and make you one of them, right? It is them making it as painful as possible for you not to be one. Thus the pandemic. That was a zombie apocalypse. That was them. It was an orcish horde that had to pass through, be vanquished, so on and so forth. Everything was conditioning you to Jerry Epstein's morality. Weinstein was more about the distraction by like, because much of the violence was like, look at Kill Bill with a woman's revenge porn. And I fucking still love Kill Bill. I will probably always love Kill Bill. I don't know if I'm gonna love what the fuck he's making. I heard he's making another one. Or doing something with a Kill Bill situation. I'm not sure. But they show you this idea of these monsters. Some of the degeneracy persona. Right? Now granted, those are all honorable characters. So there's something to be said about honorable characters. Right? And as you can see, Jeff is not an honorable fucking character at all. Right? And so things need to clear the fuck up. And we have to have somebody, because like if you're not going to go in the anarchist direction, then you need to go in the go fix your government for fucking you guys direction. So go fix it. If you're not going to come over here and hang out and fucking like work for each other and thrive and succeed and do all the life affirming things and not worry about them, and just be wise enough to avoid all the pitfalls and know if you need to move because shots have been fired in an existential fucking threat that you can verifiably confirm, and thus pack your bags, we're moving to Kansas where nobody cares. Right? Or maybe that's where they care because they need the agriculture. But you know what? I feel like the world would not be starving at this point if we just forced capitalism on it, because it's been verified that they starve under socialism. I feel like there's probably been more propaganda about that in Venezuela than there has been the starvation. But Venezuela was in really bad shape, and ain't nobody lying about Cuba's situation, and they're a fucking island. And there's no excuse why their entire population is at a 7th grade reading level. There's no fucking excuse. You can't get the whole nation up to 8 and then the whole nation up to 9 as per one would imagine communism worked. No. You know what? And that's another island. When, like, I've been thinking about the correlation now with Michael Bay's The Island. I keep running over and over in my head because it was one of my favorite dramatic scenes was Michael Clark Duncan, the clone of the football player, is being harvested. And he wakes up mid-procedure before his fucking chest is completely opened up to fucking take out his living, beating heart. Or liver, or lungs, or something. Well, whatever. He was going to be dead at the end of the procedure. And they catch him, and he's crying like the fucking, like the authentically, like 14-year-old in his development that they've engineered him to be at 14-year-old mental development at like late 20s, early 30s body condition, which is peak. And being delivered the world. Charlie fucking Kirk. human sin offering. So, all I'm asking is for us to be way more morally honest with our fucking selves and not tolerate how wrong it's been to be on the side that's defending all of this fucking shit. And to use it as the crux to take away control like that, because what's going to serve everyone better if we can't get people to fucking shake off government is that the illusion, or excuse me, that what we see is not an illusion, that reality actually matches what is said in a system that tests reality to be in accord with what is said by the baseline authority for our nation, right? Because our nation is going. When you understand words, right? Like nation is what you as a group of people are, right? It's just like if you believe in life, you're gonna be part of this fucking world. You're gonna be with your friends or whatever, and you have to have a love for good people, even if they're popular and profane. If they're good people, you've got to have a love for them. Can you believe that they're good people that are incredibly naive and powerless? I mean, they aren't powerless, but they are, because they gave up their sword. If they had their sword, their power would work, because the game requires the sword in hand. They don't have the Vorpal tongue for this. The tongue is, as a muscle, as within, as without, is directly connected to the heart. It's a speech-to-heart connection. So you surrender your sword, you've surrendered your heart. And now only this logical machine and this terrified instinctual system down below has lost its central cohesion point. And then what the tongue does for bringing out the expression from within. We're not going to solve this problem by yelling at people about spiritual psychology, because you're forgetting that you were seeking something. Some people forget that they were seeking something. The ones that did not forget when they were born that they were seeking something in the great amorphisms, right? It's lost in the fog of Niflheim, and it's mixed in with the shadows of Helheim. You're going, if you've lost that mission, that quest, you're gonna fall off path, and you're not going to have surroundings that are giving you good messages, right? This is, like people that are just lost in talking about the philosophies of the Matrix every fucking year. Okay? It's just like, and you just want to have your little network that watches your fucking navel gazing about simulation theory, to make some money enjoying just studying the prison that you wonder if fate will put you in. Because it's too crazy to believe that for real, and you're hoping that nobody judges you for avoiding it. And do you want to learn a lesson in how that silences a man? Because I never wore a mask willingly, because it was always under coercion, I did not lose my voice. Because it was always under coercion. It was always under an important forced reason. I only got tested once ever, and it was after the pandemic was over, pretty much. And there was no more vaccination pressure, and I had to go into surgery. And there was no way of getting out of a nasal swab. And that nasal swab was not a cranial cracker like I've heard people go through. It went up there a little bit. I felt it in the roof of my nose. And that was it. And I woke up. Like, if I had been jabbed, they would have had to have fucking bandaged it. Nobody got secretly jabbed. Unless you woke up and you had a hypodermic needle bandage on your arm that, wasn't there before they put you under. All right? Now that does happen, but the bandage has to, they can't hide it. I mean, look, you can throw the conspiracy theory at me about like invisible bandages or something, but that would have to have been highly widespread. Highly, especially because of how much they wanted to sneak these inoculations. Remember, these people are, these people were being fed. People were shaping these fucking. Why is Fauci still in government? Why hasn't this man been fucking shot in a back alley by a stranger? Who the fuck is keeping this guy around? For fucking propagating Bill Gates' rape of the entire world. These two people raped the entire fucking world with medicine. Can we fucking kill them? through a justice process, I'd like them to fucking not be alive justiciously. I would like for them to be executed. So yeah, we can't be this fucking incapable of fucking change. We absolutely can't. I mean, I'm sure there's a terrible fear that when this system fucking drops, that somebody might be coming for them. The level at which the rules changed. Right? When the system drops, are we going to see the Epstein files turn into basically an installation into the world? Or are we going to see that here is what we thwarted. You deserve to know what was thwarted. Because it doesn't matter if Donald Trump's fucking innocent or fucking guilty if we're getting fucked over. Like, people need to take responsibility, and, you know, you've got habeas corpus or whatever, body of crime, you know, to make sense of what we consider to be or think are victims. And ultimately, Donald Trump is, there's not one email, not one private personal correspondence between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. And Jeffrey and Trump had fucking called the cops on him in 2005 or 6 or something, and is in fact part of the original fucking investigation. And why doesn't the DOJ fucking explain this? Wouldn't that be doing Donald Trump a fucking favor if the DOJ and the FBI stepped forward and explained all of that? They do insist. I mean, are they only allowed to speak upon question asked? Because I've certainly not seen that to be the case, unless that secretly is the case in this issue. Because if I were doing, whether good guy or bad guy, if I was doing what Trump is doing in his position, I mean, this would be prime for me to flip the script and be the fucking hero. Especially if I've got a slam dunker and I just had to wait for this last fucking loose end to fucking keel over before I felt like security could be trusted with this fucking this witness's life, or several witnesses. And I don't want to see what's going on in Minnesota as an excuse, even though it definitely doesn't serve the globalists, it's still making us evil. I refuse to condone the evil. I expect better. Hey, what's up, Thelonious? I see you there. And just heads up on these streams, guys. It's a bad idea to ask me to fucking read. Typically, I can't see it, especially at night. As such, the lighting is just atrocious. All right. So, please, this is just my encouragement to the women out there that can talk to the women that are beyond my voice, right? Women at their prerogative are going to listen to who they want to listen to. Talking like a man and being like, all right, listen up. Like, that's great for guys. And there are guys, and if you're a guy within the reach of the ear of a woman, that's great. Part of your job is getting the ear of the woman. Okay? It's a big part of your fucking job as a guy doing this thing who wants to be the guy not bitching about the whole fucking thing. Right? It's all about advancing forward enough to where if you want to say something, you may be bringing the same theme to everything that you say, but every time you're out there to say something, you gotta say something different. You gotta not repeat yourself. You can repeat yourself in the sense that you've got your coin, like I've got my coin terms that come up. I got the things that pop up. I got my quotes of the Havamal that'll pop up. I got an arsenal in my flow state ready to serve me when I'm doing what I'm doing. But that's me. Like, I get that. But don't cheapen the need to bring other things in. I've got this pastel fucking subject matter all over my fucking channel, and I try to fucking show you a fixed point out of everything that I'm looking at in my thesis. Which is trying to get you to either make sure that you see what I see can be done about it or not. Because it has to look like it's worth doing, and you have to teach somebody how it works to establish that worth. It needs persistent demonstration. Nobody would be kung fu fighting if it wasn't for Bruce Lee. You know what I mean? So, so I am just bringing that point to you. So anyway, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my commute to work on this good short stream. I'm having a fantastic week, and I will catch you guys soon. soon. I think maybe I will go live. I'll go live on Friday. Friday night, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna rock and roll. All right, peace.